With all the cybersecurity things that are happening nowadays, backups are even more important than they used to be. And there's a lot of different methods and a lot of different vendors and the process and how they get taken care of, that they are just not all created equal. And this is something I've talked about for a long time. I often hear, prospects or people with their business and they say, well, my guy says he takes backups, or yep, we subscribe to backups and it's good, right? But not knowing the level at which those backups operate, how they're done, how they're being done, how they're being verified is super important. And even as just the owner or the manager or whatever it might be, I think it's important to dig in just a little bit into understanding what backups are being done and provided for, so that you don't run into an issue where you don't have the data should something go wrong. In all these ransomware breaches and crypto and all this stuff, the plan B, if you will, is backups. And so because of that, super critical to make sure that we have that data and can restore it at any time. And a lot of products exist, like online backups, right? It is a piece of software that runs and it looks at a folder or multiple folders of files. And if anything changes, it grabs that file and puts it into the cloud storage provider. And that's essentially the backup service. What's wrong with a service like this is it doesn't have the entire image of the server. And even then, if a file gets destroyed, it could potentially be copying that destroyed or encrypted file into the cloud provider, and it's just as useless as the data sitting on your server. You scale all the way up to a backup service like ours. A physical device sits in the server closet next to the server. It takes an entire image of that server as a base, and then from there runs what's called snapshots. So when things change, or even better, it runs on an hourly basis, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., what's changed since, and writes that data into the backup set. That backup box is not a file share. It's not a NAS box that's sitting on the network, susceptible to the same ransomwares and crypto lockers that would hit the server. And then on top of it, that data is encrypted every single night and offsited to 2 data centers, East and West Coast. So should something horrible go wrong in the office, we still have that data. And again, we can restore from an hour ago, or last night, or last week, or last month, or even up to a year ago. Now, that's why that backup service costs a lot of money, but significantly different than your typical online backup, or we're writing a once-a-day backup to a passport drive that maybe so-and-so takes outside of the office and things like that. And that leads us to verification, right? We've got to ensure that that data is good that's being backed up, right? That the backup image or snapshot is even going to work, right? So our service uses a automation that boots up that backup and makes sure that it's going to work. And then on top of it, we have human eyes and human hands double checking it every single day to ensure that our 85 plus clients have a verified backup. Because at the end of the day, if we don't have that data, that is all of our plan Bs should something horrible go wrong. And technology is never perfect. So whether a server just decides it wants to quit working, or something from fire, flood, tornado, or the bad guys, ransomware, crypto locker happens, we've got to make sure we have that plan B. So backups are just not created equal.